Have you ever wondered if someone was lying to you? Maybe a colleague, a friend, or even someone you're dating? Well, today I'm going to share 7 powerful techniques that intelligence professionals have used for decades to detect deception. These aren't just parlor tricks. These are scientifically backed methods that can help you read people like a book. Before we dive in, I need to make something clear. No single behavior means someone is definitely lying. Human communication is complex, and context matters. What you're looking for are clusters of behaviors, changes from someone's normal patterns, and consistency across multiple signals. Think of yourself as a detective gathering evidence, not a judge passing immediate sentence. Let's start with technique number 1, baseline behavior. This is absolutely foundational to everything else you're about to learn. Before you can spot deception, you need to know how someone acts when they're telling the truth. Intelligence operatives spend time observing their subjects in relaxed, comfortable conversations before asking any sensitive questions. They're watching how the person normally gestures, their typical speech patterns, where they naturally look when thinking, and their usual energy level. When you establish this baseline, any deviations become glaringly obvious. So the next time you're meeting someone for coffee or sitting down for an important conversation, spend the first 10 to 15 minutes on easy, non-threatening topics. Ask them about their weekend, their hobbies, their favorite shows. Watch them carefully during this time. That's your control group. That's your truth baseline. Technique number 2, watch the hands and feet. While people can often control their facial expressions because they know others are watching their face, they forget about their hands and especially their feet. CIA operatives are trained to watch these areas carefully because they're where the truth often hides. When someone is lying, you might notice their hands suddenly become more rigid or their gestures don't match their words. If someone says absolutely yes while their head is subtly shaking no, that's a disconnect worth noting. Increased self-touching is another red flag. Touching the face, neck, or arms provides self-comfort during stressful deception. And here's the big one: foot behavior. Feet are the most honest part of the body. When someone wants to escape a situation, their feet often point toward the exit, even while their body faces you. Bouncing feet, tapping, or sudden stillness in normally animated feet all signal discomfort. Next time you're in a serious conversation, position yourself so you can see the other person's full body. Don't just focus on their face. The story their body tells below the neck is often more truthful. Number 3, the cognitive load test. Lying is mentally exhausting. When people lie, they're managing multiple mental tasks, creating a false narrative, monitoring your reactions, suppressing the truth, and keeping their story straight. We can use that cognitive burden to our advantage. Intelligence professionals deliberately increase cognitive load during interviews to make maintaining a lie more difficult. Here's how you do it tactfully. Ask them to tell their story in reverse chronological order. This is incredibly difficult to do with a fabricated story, but easy with a genuine memory. Request unusual amounts of detail about peripheral aspects of their story. Liars typically have a central narrative prepared, but not the surrounding context. Interrupt them mid-story and ask them to start from a different point. Truth tellers can do this seamlessly. Liars often stumble or contradict themselves. Here's a powerful example. If someone tells you they were at the movies last night, don't ask what movie they saw. Ask them where they parked, whether the theater was crowded, what previews played, whether they bought snacks. A truth teller will navigate these questions easily, even if they can't remember every detail. A liar will likely become noticeably uncomfortable, need time to think, or provide vague, defensive responses. Technique number 4, micro-expressions. This technique was pioneered by psychologist Paul Ekman, whose research has been used extensively in intelligence work. Micro-expressions are involuntary facial expressions that last just a fraction of a second. They occur when someone is trying to conceal their true emotions, and they leak out before the person can suppress them. There are 7 universal emotions that show up in micro-expressions: anger, disgust, contempt, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. When someone's words don't match a micro-expression, you've found a crack in their facade. For example, if someone says they're happy about your promotion, but you catch a flash of contempt or anger across their face, you know their true feelings. If someone claims not to know anything about an incident, but shows a micro-expression of fear when you mention it, they're probably lying. The challenge is that these expressions are incredibly fast. Training yourself to spot them requires practice. Start by watching video interviews where you can pause and rewind. Study photographs of genuine expressions of each emotion. Over time, your brain will begin to register these fleeting expressions in real time. Number 5. Statement analysis. The specific words people choose when they're lying can be incredibly revealing. Intelligence professionals are trained to listen not just to what is said, but precisely how it's said. Pay attention to pronoun usage. Liars often avoid saying "I" to distance themselves from their lies. Instead of "I didn't steal the money," they might say "the money wasn't stolen," or "that didn't happen." Listen for unnecessary details or over-explaining. When people volunteer elaborate explanations for simple questions, it often indicates they've prepared a story. Notice phrases that create distance or ambiguity. Instead of "I was home Tuesday night," a liar might say "I believe I was home," or "as far as I recall, I was home." These qualifiers give them wiggle room. Watch for what's called the persuasion focus rather than the communication focus. Liars often sound like they're trying to convince you rather than simply inform you. You'll hear phrases like "I swear on my life," "honestly," "to tell you the truth," or "believe me." While honest people might occasionally use these phrases, liars use them excessively because they sense you're doubting them. Another powerful tell is the structure of denial. A truthful person will typically make a direct, simple denial. "I didn't take your laptop." A liar is more likely to answer your question with a question: "Why would I take your laptop?" or attack your credibility: "I can't believe you'd accuse me of that." Technique number 6. Timing and synchronicity. The timing between a question and an answer, and between a statement and an emotional response, can reveal deception. When someone is telling the truth, their emotional responses and their words are typically synchronized. If someone is describing a traumatic event, their distress will show as they speak about it. But when people are fabricating stories, there's often a delay. They might say something sad and only show sadness a beat later, once they realize they should look sad. Intelligence operatives watch for this lag carefully. Similarly, if someone responds too quickly to a serious accusation before you've even finished your sentence, they may have prepared their denial in advance. Genuine surprise or genuine emotional processing takes a moment. Another timing tell is the rehearsed response. If someone's answer sounds polished and flows too smoothly, especially for something they should be processing emotionally, it may have been practiced. Real memories come with hesitations, self-corrections, and imperfect recall. Here's how to test this. Ask a pointed question, then stay completely silent and maintain eye contact. Don't fill the silence, just wait. This silence is incredibly uncomfortable, especially for someone who's lying. An honest person might ask you to clarify your question or simply expand on their answer. A liar will often feel compelled to keep talking, and that's when they tend to reveal inconsistencies. Technique 7. The guilty knowledge test. It's one of the most advanced techniques used by intelligence agencies for decades. The idea is simple. Guilty people know details, innocent people don't. By revealing or withholding specific information, you can see who reacts. If money goes missing, you can purposely state the wrong amount. An innocent person accepts it, but the guilty one may correct you, exposing knowledge they shouldn't have. You can also mention a mix of true and false details to see who reacts differently, or leave out an important detail and watch who shows unusual interest. The key is subtlety. If you're obvious, the test doesn't work. Before ending, keep the ethics in mind. These tools are powerful, but not perfect. Even trained professionals make mistakes, and many behaviors that look deceptive can simply come from anxiety or cultural differences. Think about your relationship with the person and whether using these techniques could harm trust. And avoid confirmation bias. If you've already decided someone is lying, you'll see lies everywhere. Ultimately, these 7 techniques aren't just about catching deception, they're about becoming more observant and understanding communication better. Use them responsibly, ethically, and in a way that preserves your own integrity